I've never fished this stretch of water near Newark before, but I know it's one of the best in the country for barbel and the enigmatic Zander, which, for those of you not in the know, is a predatory fish that looks like a cross between a pike and a perch. When we arrive mid-afternoon, the prime spots under Collie and Weir are already taken. People are even queuing up for these prized pegs. Some of the guys here have been fishing this part of the Trent for 40 years, so as they prepare to pack up after a day's competition, it seems wise to have a word with them about strategy and why the barbel is such an awesome fish to catch.
Once you've caught a barbel, there's nothing better. You know, we take people, novices with us and kids and everything else, and once they've had the feel of that barbel, I can assure you they get hooked straight away.
I kind of wish you were my uncle, Trevor, because I might have been introduced to these a bit earlier in life.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. I mean, I've got my nephew here fishing with us today, and honestly, we've been on the Severn, we've been to Ireland, we've been on the River Wye, we've been everywhere, and up north and that, and there's nothing better for consistency. Honestly, it is the best. In my opinion, this is the best venue, along with O'Marsh, I'll take them equally, in the country, without a doubt.
The barbel keep them coming back for more, and they've had some real red letter days in their time.
And I've got 13 barbel in there, and I would say I've got 70 odd pound. Some decent ones in there, but some small ones as well.
Yeah, but they really do fight those barbel, don't they?
That day I had the 234, I had to take 2 days off work to recover from it. My gaffer won it all, please. Are we having him out, mate?
Because these guys are competing in a match, they're using keep nets to allow them to weigh in their catch. This is not something I'll be using myself, and will make every effort to get those fish back into the water as quickly as possible.
Yeah, what do you have for first weight?
75.
75.
After the weigh-in, we see the fish put back, and we get some great shots of them disappearing across the gravel.
Little baby. There's a barbel.
Fishing with me today are some old friends from school. We all enjoy catching up a couple of times a year for a bit of a fish and a chat. Matt and Glenn know this spot well and are after Zander, while me and Al are going for barbel. And once the barbel bug has bitten, it's difficult to shake off. You've caught big pike before, you've caught lots of trout.
Yep.
Describe, for the person who's never caught them before, what it's like to suddenly hook into a barbel.
Yeah, honestly, they are absolutely amazing fish to catch. The power of the barbel is beyond belief. Well, I do stick to light tackle. There's an element of the sporting nature which I enjoy when I'm fishing.
It's something that, if you haven't tried it, you'd heartily recommend.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I've never known a fish fight as hard as barbel, pound for pound, definitely.
Out of all of us, Glenn is the most experienced fisherman. As we've been gassing, he's been concentrating on his fishing and has already got himself a nice little pike.
No, I thought that Zander was off.
On the mat, Glenn?
Yeah, but I think the hooks have come out anyway, mate.
No, they have, yeah. A self-disgorging pike. Haven't had one of those on film for a while, Matt.
No, it saves me necking a mess of it,
Oh. That is not a Zander.
No, unfortunately.
So it's not a target species, but you're always in danger of catch. Where you find Zander, you're going to find pike, aren't you?
Yeah, of course you are, yeah. The two go together, but it's only a small one, but...
It's not much more than a live bait for you, Glenn, is it?
They're all welcome, mate. They're all welcome.
Glenn has always been a fanatic carp fisherman, but he was introduced to barbel a few years ago and he's never looked back. I think some people look down on coarse fishing compared to game fishing, but barbel have a reputation for being ferocious fighters.
Oh yeah, the fight's unbelievable. The take's unbelievable. It's the power of the water, the fish.
Because they are a river fish, aren't they?
Yeah,
They're like
they
fast flowing water.
Yeah, that's right, they are. And you get the big fish, the small fish, they all fight really, really hard. And you've got to really look after them when you're putting them back. You know, they take some time to revive. You need to hold them in the land of the net. If it takes 5, 10, 15 minutes, you know, you've got to look after them.
So they'll fight themselves to a standstill?
Yeah, they will. They'll virtually fight themselves to death. To be totally honest, that is what they do.
Yeah.
You know, they don't give up until they're in that net. So you need strong tackle to make sure you land them and that sort of thing.
And then, of course, there's the Zander, and he's feeling reasonably confident that he'll land one as soon as it gets dark.
Probably the hardest fish I've ever tried to catch by the Zander don't like resistance. Very finicky biters. They'll come, they'll hit your bait, they'll move off, they'll come back again, and I've always got takes when I've been Zandering. Not always connected, but should get some.
Should get some action.
Yeah, should do.
Before the light goes, Glenn talks us through the rig he will be using. Okay, so this is your end rig, Glenn. It's quite simple.
Yep.
Talk us through it.
Simplicity, ledger boom, lead, 4 ounce grip of lead because of the tide, you know, the fast flowing pace of the river. It'll hold the bottom nicely. Goes onto your 20-pound wire trace with a single size 8 treble hooked into the fish, which I like to cut in half to let the juices and the scent out for the Zander. It's all simplicity, there's nothing to snag anything, it's all free running, and the Zander picks the bait up straight through.
It can move, it doesn't feel any resistance.
That's right, the resistance, as resistance free as we can get it,
yeah,
considering the power of this river.
So Zander don't have the best PR out there. A lot of coarse anglers don't like them. They think that they damage the coarse stocks, and we've been told that some fish have been found dead on the bank here, where obviously someone's caught them, killed them and thrown them away, which is a real shame. Stuff like cormorants do a lot more damage than a predatory fish such as a Zander would do. I think part of the problem is that they're non-native. They were introduced into the relief channel years ago, and they've since spread far and wide. But I think that they're going to have a bit of a renaissance. I think that people enjoy catching them. They're an impressive looking fish when you see them on the bank, and hopefully they'll acquire the status that perch and pike have amongst the predator set. I certainly hope so. I certainly hope we get to see them in action tonight. As darkness falls, we get a shout from Matt and Glenn along the bank. Matt thinks he has his first ever Zander on the line.
Look at its eyes, Drum.
Yeah! Yes! Zander! Good man! Nice one.
Watch the hooks on the net, mate. I've got an unhooking mat back here.
Yeah. What, how many?
See the eyes?
Lovely. So that's what we come for.
Looking fish, isn't it?
That is what we come for. Brilliant.
Matt is over the moon, and it really is an amazing looking fish. Those big reflective eyes showing exactly why the Zander is such a supreme night hunter.
Well chuffed. First Zander. Been pike fishing about 15 years. 3 attempts, aborted attempts at catching a Zander. Beautiful. God, it's
Really funny, finicky bite, wasn't it?
It
Didn't
was, yeah,
scream
yeah.
off.
It's just what Glenn explained it would be like, though. It's quite a smallmouth compared with the pike, isn't it? See, well, the bites are finicky. A pike would have just hoovered that bait up and would have started swallowing it. I can't get over how different it feels to any other coarse fish other than the perch. You rub that way, it's like really abrasive sandpaper. Yeah, it is like a sea bass.
So this is just letting the oxygen get back into their gills and let them recover for a little bit. Yeah. You see he's getting his strength up now, isn't he? So he's starting to work his fins now, look, isn't he? Yeah. Just as that bit of excitement is over with the safe return of the Zander, Al shouts to us that he also has a fish. It's a lovely looking barbel.
Fish fought really, really hard in this current. It's quite deep out there, and it stayed very, very low. And then eventually we turned his head and up he came. But beautiful fish. I'll put him back. No problems at all.
So it's a good start to our session, and enough for the cameraman to call it a night, claiming that he doesn't do tents. In the end, we get 20 barbel, 3 Zander and a couple of pike between us. Exciting fishing for exciting fish.